Can you take a guess what the 100 is for? I'm now officially down 100 pounds from my maximum weight. As you might have seen in my previous update video, which was almost 3 months ago now at this point, which is kind of crazy, but in that last video, I had mentioned how my highest weight was 417 pounds back in summer of last year. I weighed in at 417 pounds. 417 pounds. As of 2 days ago, I weighed in at 317 pounds, which means that since September of last year, which was when I first realized I was 417, I've lost 100 pounds, which already would be a great amount of weight. But the really crazy thing is that I had only lost about 20 pounds from September until February 3rd, which is when I got my surgery, because when I weighed in the day of surgery, I was 395 pounds. So since surgery on February 3rd up until now, which is April 30th, so just under exactly 3 months away, I've lost 78 pounds. 78 pounds since surgery in 3 months is just absolutely absurd. I mean, I had obviously a lot of weight to lose. I still have a lot of weight to lose because the crazy thing is I'm still 117 pounds away from my ultimate goal. So I'm not even really halfway to my goal weight yet, which is crazy. And I'm already noticing, and I'm sure you could probably notice just from looking at me right now, a ton of differences. The last 3 months has really been so crazy. And since the last time I dropped a proper long form update video on YouTube, which was 2 weeks after surgery, a lot has changed. For starters, at this point, I'm fully integrated into all solid food, so I have no more restrictions as far as what I can eat. There are still things that really bother me, obviously, if I was to have anything that's really sugary or really acidic, things like that can still bother me. But for the most part, I'm able to pretty much eat what I want, but I am still keeping myself to a pretty solid diet. At this point, religiously without fail, every morning I have a protein shake for breakfast, and I usually will take a protein shake, either a Premier shake or a Quest protein shake or something like that, which usually has anywhere between 30 and 45 grams of protein already. And then I'll blend that with a serving of the PB Fit powder because A, it gives an extra 8 grams of protein, plus I just love the taste of peanut butter with any of the other shakes that I make. And then I also put a full serving, which is 4 tablespoons of the collagen and peptides, which ends up bringing my total for protein just from my morning shake from anywhere from 54 to upwards of 70 grams of protein just from my breakfast shake. And like I said, I do that pretty much without fail because in the past, I almost never ate breakfast, right? I know I've mentioned before, my diet before was don't eat all throughout the day, binge eat really awful foods late at night, late into the night, and then not be hungry in the morning the next day, and then that vicious cycle continues. Well, I don't do that anymore because now I always will have my breakfast shake in the morning, so I'm at least getting my protein, and I'm at least getting some nourishment, and usually I'll end up having something else maybe a protein bar or some other kind of snack shortly after, especially if I go to the gym. So I never feel I'm not satiated in the mornings, and I'm starting my day off immediately with a huge kick of protein, roughly half my protein goal just from that shake. I try to get at least 100 to 120 grams of protein every day. At this point, I'd say I'm aiming for the higher end, so more around 120, if not higher than that, which is usually not hard because, again, I'm getting half that in just my morning shake. So yeah, I usually start my morning off with the shake without fail. I haven't been super great at eating lunch. I've been doing a lot more snacking throughout the day. And by snacking, I mean I've been having a lot of Quest protein snacks, so protein chips, protein bars, things like that. The Built Puff bars are kind of my guilty pleasure protein snack because they have a few grams of sugar in them. Or I'll have a meat stick or a cheese stick, something like that. But I talked with my dietitian yesterday actually, and one of the things that I've started doing is to incorporate more fibrous foods into my snacking. So really just adding, apples, berries, things like that into my snacks and into my daily, regimen will definitely help by not relying so much on those other snacks and still getting more fiber, getting enough protein, all that good stuff. But eventually, especially as I move into the maintenance phase, a year down the road, it'll be a lot easier to have the capacity to eat a meal for lunch as well. So usually, again, breakfast shake in the morning, snacking kind of periodically throughout the day on various things. And then in the evening, I always sit down to eat dinner, which is usually one of the Quest or Real Good foods. Quest makes a protein pizza, enchiladas, lasagna. Real Good makes chicken strips, chicken nuggets, all sorts of stuff that are all really high in protein, and they're pretty good for you. Like, they're not like loaded with sugar and sodium and all those other things. So those are a really great, simple option for dinner. And the times that I do cook, I'm usually doing something simple like a stir fry with just chicken breasts and like some vegetables to get a little bit of veggies in there or something like that. So, I mean, honestly, my diet is not like anything crazy or over the top. It's just pretty simple. Protein shake, snacking throughout the day, some kind of usually chicken or sometimes turkey for dinner, and that's it. And so far so good. This will like definitely shift as the time goes on, because again, as I get into maintenance and as my capacity maybe will increase a little bit, or as my output, my physical output increases, things like calorie or carb intake will change along the way. But for the meantime, this has been working great, and obviously it's, I've lost a ton of weight, greatly in part to the shift in my nutrition. Outside of the nutrition aspect, I've also become a lot more active. Like, before I got cleared for full exercise, which I believe was March 17th, before that, I was just going to the gym and just doing cardio, which was a great way to kind of get in the routine of going to the gym in the first place. And also, I think that it really helped, to some degree with just getting my stamina up and keeping my body in shape until I was able to start actually lifting weights. But I will say a huge misconception, one that I very much had back in the day, was that, like, especially if you're heavier, like, oh, if you just do a shit ton of cardio, you'll lose weight. But that's just not how it works. Like, weightlifting not only has greatly improved my strength, my physical strength, my body, and everything like that, but it's also helped a lot with losing the weight. So typically what I do is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm lifting different things like back, shoulders, chest, legs, all that stuff. So I'm usually lifting 3 days a week. On Tuesday afternoons, I do this basketball league now, so that's a really great, intense source of cardio. So I've been doing that each week. And then on my off or in between days, I'm usually like just being outside, maybe going for a walk, going for some kind of hike, something like that, just to keep myself active at least like 5 days out of the week. And I also got a second gym membership, literally like just for the sauna, because there's a gym in town that has a sauna and Planet Fitness does not. And the sauna is amazing. Not only is it, like, to me at least, it's very relaxing, but it can help clear some of the toxins out of your body. It makes you sweat a lot. I mean, obviously it's a sauna, so you sweat like crazy. So it actually, in some ways, can contribute to weight loss. So I'll typically do that like either later in the day on a day where I've worked out, or just on one of my in-between days, and maybe just like do a few minutes of the treadmill or whatever, just to keep my body moving, something like that. And that's been also extremely helpful this week in particular, because Monday, which was 2 days ago, was the first workout I've missed. So I had made like 19 straight. But the problem is, because of these results and because of how quickly everything is changing, it's very easy to go too hard and to overwork myself because I'm so excited, I'm so motivated by the results. So I end up like kind of having a little bit of a back strain or whatever, and I was just exhausted. I just got back from vacation recently, which I'll get into in a minute. But yeah, so that's something I very much have to remember, is to also allow my body to rest and recover. So yeah, that's kind of at this point what my life looks like from, a nutrition and exercise standpoint, and just how my quality of life has improved since I've started to do these things differently. Outside of that, as I just mentioned, I have been able to travel a few times already since getting surgery. So back in March, I did another weekend trip to Maine with my buddy JP. At this point, that's my third trip, I think, to Maine, third or fourth. I've really fallen in love with Maine. I really love being there, and it's especially easy because I collaborate with this Airbnb that lets me come and stay there in exchange for shooting content and giving them photos and videos and stuff like that. So they've been fantastic, and it's a super easy way to just take a weekend trip to Maine. And where that is in Springvale, which is about an hour away from Portland. And I really like going to Portland, Maine. That's where you can't fully see it, but that's where this little lighthouse shot came from. I'll throw it up on the screen, but there's a really famous lighthouse there, and there's a ton of other things to do. I haven't actually really fully explored Portland, Maine yet, but that's something I look forward to doing sometime in the summer. So yeah, Maine was fantastic. We did some nighttime photography, some sunrise photography. It was basically just like a fun little photo video trip and just like a hangout to, just be outdoors or whatever. And then in April, I just got back about a week and a half ago, actually 2 weeks ago today, I took a trip to San Diego. That was amazing. That's also why I've got my little beach theme going on here, because it's only about to be the beginning of May, but I'm already in summer mode. Like, I'm so ready for the sun, the beach, the lakes, the water, everything. So, yeah, I had a blast in San Diego. I'll throw up some of the video clips and some of the photos that I got from there, but that was just amazing. Like, it really has some of the most beautiful weather in the entire country. I mean, like, year round, it's kind of between like 60 to 80. You know, obviously it can get a little bit higher, a little bit lower depending on the season, but when I was there, it was like high 60s to low 70s, like almost the entire time. It was absolutely beautiful. I got to really explore a lot of San Diego because I was there for a week and I was staying with a friend who lives there, so she was able to show me around a lot. I got to check out like a little bit of Laguna Beach. We went, I don't even remember all the places. We went to a bunch of different places like in and around San Diego. I did some photo shoots with some people that I met. Something else I got to do, which I had a ton of fun with when I was in San Diego, is more film photography. Last year, I got super into it. In fact, I've got my nice, I don't know if you can see it, my nice film camera collection right over there, which is rapidly growing. Not great for my wallet. But I got really into film photography, and I kind of slowed down with it a lot through the winter because A, everything with the surgery, and B, wintertime in New York is just terrible. So once the weather got warmer, I got back into it again. And then when I was in California, I was like, this is a great opportunity to shoot some film. And boy, did I. I ended up shooting, I think, like 3 or 4 rolls. Kodak Gold, which is my favorite film, looks amazing in California. And I just had a blast doing that. I definitely need to get back out there and shoot just a ton more film again. But yeah, that was probably one of my favorite parts about the whole trip, actually, was just shooting film and just experiencing it in that way. It was amazing. Like, I genuinely just had an absolute blast out there. I had some good food. I had some great coffee. The weather was amazing. I walked around a lot, actually, because where she lives is pretty close to a lot of stuff. So we just walked around a lot, drove, hung out, and honestly, it was just like such a good time. It was equally relaxing and adventurous, which to me is the perfect balance. I don't like to just be lazy on a vacation, but I also don't like to be all over the place all the time and then you just feel like you're exhausted. So absolutely had an amazing time. That was just wonderful. Yeah, San Diego for sure has my heart, and something tells me I will end up out there one day. Another really cool thing that has happened since the last update video that I made is that I started a steps group. And what I mean by that is that there's this app called Step Up, which is literally just an app that tracks your steps. And I had been invited by my friend Esther to her group. And then I was like, oh, this is cool. I'm going to start a group and invite some people. That was like the middle of March. We're here at the end of April, and I've somehow have gotten this group to like 70 plus people, which is absolutely insane. And not only that, but like I started doing prizes for people. We do like a prize pool for the person who has the most steps in the group. like all sorts of cool stuff. And when I first started, it was kind of just like a cool little fun thing, like, oh, let's compete a little bit and see who can get the most steps. But the response that I got from it was like beyond my wildest dreams. I've had so many people reach out who have said that this group has been so motivating. It's helping them be more active. It's helping their health and helping them lose weight and all these other amazing things. And I love that. Like, I've always been huge on community building. I'm a hyper extrovert, as people who know me will definitely know. So I've always loved meeting new people, but not only that, but bringing people together and just leading or creating a community. Whether it's around the steps group, whether it's around the photography and things like that. It's anything that I can bring people together who have similar goals or interests or whatever. To me, there's something really special in that. And so I ended up starting like a Discord channel, and we all just kind of talk a lot about what we're doing for our physical and mental health, the steps group, just like friendly shit talking and stuff like that. So that's been incredible. We just wrapped up our first full month of competition now. So yeah, people won a bunch of prizes. We got a bunch more prizes next month. If you're interested in joining that, reach out to me either on Instagram at Unreal Devonwood, or just comment below and I'll send you the link. But yeah, that has been an unexpected, lovely thing that has happened in the last couple months. So what's next? What's next for me is definitely the 100 pounds since surgery mark. And not only that, but also getting into the 2s, because I literally don't know the last time my weight started with a 2. So that's going to be a really big deal for me. I mean, being 100 pounds less than my maximum weight, that's a big deal as well. I'm very excited and grateful about that and proud of myself for that. But to get to 100 pounds since surgery, which very well could happen by like June, which would be 4 months, to lose 100 pounds in 4 months is just absurd. And also to be into the 200s at all, which I will be, because when I hit 295, that'll be in the 2s, and that'll be 100 pounds down since surgery. I've been thinking about that a lot, and I'm trying not to think about it so much, but I definitely know that it's going to be a pretty emotional thing for me once I get there. So stay tuned for that. I'll probably post more so short form updates, which I've posted a lot of on Instagram, by the way. That's kind of where I post most of my updates, whether to my stories or on my page. So if you're not following me there, at Unreal Devonwood on Instagram, same as the YouTube. But yeah, so for the future, that's definitely my next big milestone. I've also got more trips and traveling and adventures planned for this rest of spring and summer. I'll be doing a Utah trip. I think I'm going to make a little weekend trip to Toronto, just because I've always wanted to visit another country, and I have my passport now, and that's like the easiest way to get into another country, because I could just drive there in 7 hours. So, and I've got some friends up there, so that'll be cool. So weekend trip to Toronto. I've got a bachelor party in Ocean City, Maryland. A lot of different fun, exciting trips that are already planned, and I'm sure some other opportunities will come up, which I'm very grateful for and extremely excited about. I know I've mentioned it, but ever since last year, I've just really been adamant about trying to travel more, about my physical health, about just all of those things. So I honestly am really happy that that's how it's been going so far. Like, I set out to do that, and I set out to go on this weight loss journey and this just change in life journey. And so far it's been going amazing, and I'm actually doing it. And like, I definitely don't take the time enough to just sit here and say that I'm proud of myself, but I am. And by the way, I have the most incredible support system. I mean, every single day, people reach out to me to tell me that they're proud of me, that they're inspired or motivated by me, things of that nature. I'm nothing without that. So I really, really appreciate that. There are way too many people to name individually, but you all know who you are. But yeah, I mean, that means the world to me. And again, the reason that I share this with the world and post so much is to hopefully do those things, whether it's motivating or inspiring somebody, or just to meet people and connect with people. But also the reason is because it's a whole other layer of accountability. If I've got, thousands of people online at this point watching me and keeping up with my journey, that's even more motivating, because if I, fail, or if I don't do what I'm supposed to, I'm not just letting myself down, I'm letting all these other people down. So that is an extremely helpful extra layer of accountability for me that is greatly helped with the progress that I have made so far. Whew. All right. I know that was a big mouthful, and I know that I haven't made an update video, a proper update video, in several months, but hopefully I'll be able to do these more routinely, maybe like every month or two, not every 3 months, especially as I have more exciting things that are happening and that I'm doing in life. So, yeah, I mean, other than that, I am just really grateful. I'm extremely happy. I'm proud of myself. I feel great mentally and physically. I'm doing what I need to do for my physical health. I'm still in therapy and I'm always working on my mental health. So I'm just grateful. Like the word that I just keep saying over and over in this is grateful. Like I have so much gratitude for how things are going, the people around me, the opportunities that I have. So that's kind of just the best way that I can sum it up. And yeah, I will say there's still a lot more to look forward to, and I have a lot more in store for you. So for those of you who have been following along, I appreciate it. Stick around. I got some stuff up my sleeve. And for those who maybe are new here or have never met me before, I hope you stick around. I feel like I'm a pretty entertaining guy, and I have a lot of things to say, whether funny or educational and everything in between. So yeah, that's about it for this one. Greatly appreciate you all. If you haven't already, please subscribe or follow me on Instagram. And as always, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.